brought in something that might be a little like repulsive. It's not something that like everyone would think of, but we wanted to see that if anyone was brave enough to reach their hand in without looking and feel around and see if they can handle it. Okay. So you're not allowed to look, and you have to listen.
Am I supposed to say what it feels like?
Yeah, I do. And then we're gonna have someone else. Does anyone else want to? Anyone else? So I did this in the dorm yesterday, and what's actually in the box is it's something I used for my physics project. But it's like these furry cotton balls glued together. But it really freaked out a lot of girls yesterday when I tried to test it, and I tried to I wanted to prove that people are curious enough to reach their hand in the box, but their imagination takes over them, and they really they think of the weirdest things. Like Maddie Gillen thought that there was a dead rat when she thought she's like, oh my gosh, she's a dead rat, isn't it? So.
But if people weren't scared, it'd be because they realized there's nothing harmful in there that would scare them, just because of past experiences that would have numbed them to the fear of the unknown.
So our thesis, or we wanted to sum up our thesis, so we said that we crave fear. And one of the first things that Cohen talks about in this thesis is that he talks about the relationship between attraction and repulsion, and he talks about how I used the quote, men live quiet lives of desperation that Thoreau used, because I think that's a really good summary of how men live their lives, because they act they don't want to act necessarily on their feelings outwardly, because they feel pressured by society. But monsters have the freedom to live lives of aggression, dominance, and aversion, which Cohen says. And so I think that we envy monsters for their freedom to express their feelings without judgment. And Ryan found a really good quote.
The monsters, it's at the bottom of page 19 on the monster culture package. The monster is the objective fragment that enables the formation of all kinds of identities: personal, national, cultural, economic, sexual, psychological, universal. Particular identity is an embrace of power, status, knowledge, and rejection. So as such, it reveals a partially the company. And basically, it's just saying that we envy them and we're attracted to them because they have the ultimate freedom, because they're already bad, so they can't get any worse. So they have no repercussions for their actions. And
we found a definition for rejected, and it means downgraded or worthless. So if a monster already has a place in society that's considered worthless, they really don't feel pressured to themselves from doing whatever their intentions are. So it's socially acceptable for monsters to do monstrous things.
Yeah, they have nothing to lose because they're already terrible.
So that's what we might envy, what monsters have, and we are also repulsed by them. It's kind of I think it's more of a inverse relationship, because at the same time, he says that, Cohen says the simultaneity of anxiety and desire ensures that the monster will always dangerously entice. So that's exemplified in when Lucy is attacked by Dracula, because it actually it gives a lot of like descriptions saying that she is like somehow like I guess like enticed by Dracula, and she's put in a trance, and even like Mina, who is repulsed by him, says that there's some kind of curse that was put on her.
She's like repulsed by him because on page 230 or 330, she talks about how she was killing herself, and it's because like if she gets involved with Dracula, then she becomes a threat to everybody else around her, and that's also bad because she's afraid of everybody else around her and her loved ones.
And so it also says that on page 332, I was bewildered, and strangely enough, I did not want to hinder him. So that's like her talking about the curse that was on them. And you can
Keep going.
yeah. So we also talked about, or in the thesis, it talks about the expected and the unexpected. And I think that's like a really big part of why we enjoy like horror, any like horror in general, because it talks about like predictability and how it predicts like how horror stories and horror films like turn out.
Or like the box, how the box
Or
would turn
like how
out.
the box would turn out. Yeah. And so like it says that King on page 17 it says. Orally received narratives work done differently. No matter how unsettling the description of the giant, no matter how many unbaptized children and hapless knights he devours, King Arthur will ultimately destroy him. The audience knows how the genre works. So that shows that how the hero, we know in like horror films or horror like stories, that the hero will always like defend. So that gives us comfort because we know what to expect. And it also says that like if like the horror celluloid images will be followed by re-entry into the world of comfort and light. So the bad almost it makes the good better at the end, or the good thing is happier because you experienced all the horror.
Yeah, like it highlights maybe the slight good because of all the various amounts of bad that happen throughout it, and the unexpected comes from it gives us like a sense of fear and adrenaline. We love like, strange fixes that we get from the unknown.
You guys are almost up for time.
Well, good always prevails. So to show that like King Arthur will always like kill the villain, and so that always gives us comfort. And then the next slide, like the variety, or like the variety of all of the unexpected like surprises in horror, like and Colin Quote, who wrote he was talking about the Indian Ocean and his explorations there, and he said the weirdness of this world produced an impression of liberation and freedom, and he talks about the different culture that he experienced overseas. So I think that really highlights like how horror excites us because we feel like when we're in a different environment that we like can like explore our own like liberation and freedom. And he gives like specific we're freed of the modesty of clothing. They rediscovered like restrictive family barriers, and like they could like actually explore polygamy, incest, and like different like sexual freedom. So it shows it, and the different types of food and like animals he saw. So
And although there's like predictability, there's also the unknown, and that unknown allows us to never be bored with horror.
Yeah.
And that's another
you can
lovely
hit
thing.
the next slide. So there's always a moral lesson in horror, and that's what like it talks about in Dracula, because Dracula highlights how like women should like stick to their traditional roles, or they will like
Be vulnerable and attacked by the band.
vampires. So and Cohen says that monsters
You guys are up for time. You're like a minute and a half over. Okay, thanks guys.
and